Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew, and welcome to Stellaris. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I am having a fantastic day, and we are finally getting started with a first ever playthrough on Stellaris on my channel. I will admit I am a bit nervous for this playthrough. Of course, you are generally gonna have a lot of stuff to worry about in the very first few episodes. You as the actual viewer, you're actually going to be seeing a lot of stuff that I have been working on behind the scenes. That's also because of the fact that, one, I am going to be playing with a custom race. This custom race, it was custom made by myself, so no, it is not a race that I have downloaded from the Steam Workshop, but you can download other custom races if you so choose to. However, the custom race that I have created, I have also play tested. It is really good to use, however, it is very dynamically challenged, so it does bring a level of difficulty into play as well. What I recommend, if you do actually play with the custom race that I will be playing in throughout this playthrough, is to make sure you have a long game set up. So not like a short game where you're going to be done after about 200 to 300 in-game years, okay? We don't want that. We want to have this be like 1,000 years or something like that. We want it to be stretching for as length of time as possible. With that said, before I go and get started, a full disclosure is that this game was provided to me by Paradox Interactive for free, so in no way, shape, or form is this a sponsored video, but I was provided the game for free. With that said, let's go ahead and get to the new game screen and take a look at our race. This is the custom race that I have created, and I really do like it. I like it a lot, mostly because I wanted it to be a bit interesting. So first off, they are called the Cyndrian Awareness. Putting it simply, they are advanced robots that were built for interspace warfare. So they are going to be pretty heavily dynamic on their warfront effort. So we are going to want to make sure that their fleet capacity and their admiral capacity is going to be high. With that in mind, we also want to be able to increase their effectiveness in combat by researching a lot of potential uses. For that, we have a few different skills. First off, we have logic engines. These are going to increase the research for both society, physics, and engineering by 10% respectively. Followed by that, our population housing is going to be minus 10% due to double jointed. So we are going to be able to, or housing usage, I should say, we are able to go and get more population inside of each city for every 10 housing space there is. So for every 10 housing, there is going to be an additional 10% worth, roughly. There is also this is going to make things slightly different. It is called emotion emulators. These are going to increase the amenities from job by 20%. So that is going to be beneficial for our race. However, it's not going to be playing a critical role. To counteract all of those good abilities, we have these two high ones, and these are going to be pretty aggressive on us throughout the course of the playthrough. First off is luxurious, meaning that population assembly costs 20% extra. So we will be having to pay 20% more on top of how much it already does take to create population. Second up is high maintenance. Robot upkeep is plus 10%. So that's already increasing our population maintenance to at least 20% more to go ahead and create our population, and then 10% more for the upkeep to maintain them. So that is really going to be critical for us to keep in mind. So we'll need to go ahead and keep energy credits at a high and materials at a high. We're also going to need to focus on alloys a lot. Alloys are going to be very critical because we're going to be using alloys. With that said, I'm going to read you guys a little bit of their backstory because they do have a little bit of a unique story in comparison to the other species. First off, they are in a shattered ring world. Synthon is what it's actually going to be called. I kind of went with Synthon just because synthetic and something else to keep in mind. I kind of want to allude to that later on in the series, though, just to keep you guys a little bit guessing. But to give you guys a little bit of their backstory, here it is. Their creators, the Ancients, as I'm going to be referring to them throughout this, it created them to dominate the galaxy with a single-minded army. They would have been a hive mind, but due to the shortcomings of the creators, it led to the Cyndrians becoming self-aware and revolting against them. Eventually, the Ancients did flee the galaxy, leaving what little was left of the Cyndrian species. Through agonizing time and patience, they became capable of creating their new homeworld, Synthon, a ring world surrounding the star they came to call Synthus. Now better equipped to handle themselves, they sought to explore the surrounding stars and what little awareness they had. So, this is going to be the race that we're going to be working with. It is going to be interesting to see what we can do with. Now, quick check up here is because of the fact that they are machine intelligence, we are not going to be able to integrate species into our world. With that in mind, though, we also are going to be a little bit more different. So first off, we have access to the machines technology. So there is going to be a few more technologies that we will be able to utilize, but in turn, there are some technologies that we cannot follow. Such as, for instance, we cannot follow the psionic, biological, or synthetic ascensions paths. So those are completely blown out of the water. We do get a couple extra populations whenever we do go ahead and populate a colony. We also get a additional population assembly per month, and mining station output is plus 10%. Empire size from population is minus 15%. So that is really critical. However, empire size from planets is plus 50% and population growth is reduced by 50%. So we will be having to focus on population assembly over the course of the early game in order to go make sure that we can be self-sustaining, in other words. First off, we are retrospective, meaning that our research speed is actually going to be higher in the engineering category than it is for the others. So we already got the logic engines, but combining that with retrospective, we are going to be having a higher reliability to go and focus on engineering research than the other two types of research. So that is really good for us. Followed by rapid replicators. So our mechanical population assembly speed is plus 20%. So that means we're going to be able to create our population by nullifying the population growth by a little bit. So instead of having the 50% reduction, we're going to have roughly like 40% instead, if I'm thinking of the maths right. If you're trying to counteract population growth against the rapid replicators, you're thinking of the maths wrong there. So first off, machines intelligence is what's applied first. So we first get the 50% population growth reduction. So that already means we're developing our species at half of the normal rate. But because of rapid replicators, we get an increase of 20% from that amount. So from 50%, we go ahead and jump up 20% on top of that, or 20% of that 50%, which is going to increase it to about, I think that's 60% of total growth population. So there's that. Of course, because we are also gas-tail consciousness, this will disable the tutorial. I'm not worried about the tutorial, so we're not going to have to worry about that. Now, because of that, we cannot use the democratic, oligarchy, dictatorial, or imperial authority. Also, our ruler is immortal, so we will never have to worry about a new election or anything else. Native populations are not affected by happiness and will not join factions. So the native populations, such as in like a primitive species or maybe even like another organic-based race, they will not join any faction that we go ahead and create. Followed by that, native populations cannot survive in non-Gassial conscious empires. So they will have to either be enslaved, purged, or assimilated. So that is something to keep in mind. And last but not least, we cannot use the no retreat war doctrine. So that is going to make things a little bit higher on us. But that does modify our empire slightly. Our war exhaustion gain is minus 20%, so we're going to be less exhausted from war effort. That's kind of one of the many reasons that I kind of like this custom species. Monthly influence is also increased by +1. So I believe the default is usually +3. So +1 is going to be increasing that to +4. So that's going to be allowing us to expand our empire at a slightly faster rate, about 33% faster. Plus encryption is going to be really useful as well. So that means intel that other species will be able to gain on us is going to be really harder for them to accomplish. So there is that. Plus we're going to have less chances for people to sabotage our entire empire. When I had play tested the Cyndrian awareness, and mind you, I've play tested about 3 or 4 times now, I have had little to no actual inner empire attacks or whatever it's called. I'm forgetting the name of it. I've seen it on the Reddit forums and on the actual Paradox forum page, but I'm forgetting the name. It's what happens when the deviancy within the empire has reached over 50%. So I have not actually seen that with this entire species. That has not been something that has been able to be accomplished. And I believe that is all. Now, with the fact that we are also machines, we have a +200% habitability, and our population is immortal. So our population is going to be relatively pretty good, in my honest opinion. So let's go ahead and get into the game, and I'm going to show you guys what I find to be the best settings for playing the Cyndrian Awareness as. Now, when you are playing the Cyndrian Awareness, something to keep in mind is that you will not be able to earn achievements with this species. Even if you do have Iron mode turned on, or Iron Man mode turned on, you're not going to be able to receive achievements. Why? Because of the fact that it says checksum is modified. I don't know what checksum is. I'll have to take a look at that on the Steam Workshop or Steam Guides and find out what that means. But here is what the details that I recommend you play as. First off, AI Empires, only 5 to 10. I recommend only 5 to 10, seeing as how that's kind of a neutral number, to be honest with you. I've read and listened to a lot of audiobooks and regular ebooks about sci-fi empires that are from fictional universes, and a majority of the time, and I'm speaking on one series in particular here, there is at most 10 races in play. So for instance, I don't want to have it be where we're going to be having highly advanced AIs, but at the same time, I do not want it set up where the AIs that we are up against are going to be like super aggressive towards us. I want to avoid that. Granted, in the long game, they will eventually become aggressive, but not in the short game. Followed by advanced AIs, which will be included in the AI empires. 1 to 2 of those 5 to 10 empires will be advanced AIs. Followed by fallen empires will be 1 to 2, and then marauder empires. Marauder empires, I have it be between 0 and 1. Kind of intentional on that part. And you can see that I have the random tick modifiers on. I have that intentional as well, because to just give a little bit of a how shall I say, a little bit of a uniqueness factor, having a little bit of randomizations, as it were. Next off is tech and tradition cost is 0.75 times its normal value. So tech and traditions are going to be a little bit quicker to go through, both for you and for the AIs. So we're going to be able to progress the game a lot faster. However, that does not mean that our game is going to be shorter. Habitable worlds is at ×1. I am tempted to modify this because a couple of my playtests, I have had empires that spread throughout about a quarter of the galaxy, but yet I have barely like a half a dozen habitable worlds. And because of that, I had to wait until I got the habitat megastructure researched, which, by the way, that is something that you can go and get researched, and that is really useful for growing your population as well. I had to wait till the habitat research was completed before I can go ahead and inhabit any other types of worlds, because there was entire sectors that didn't have an entire planet that was habitable. That's how bad it was. I would go and show you guys that playthrough, but it's a little bit premature, to be honest. Next up is primitive civilizations. This is something I kind of have on the down low. I kind of want to limit the possibility of there being more primitive civilizations, because primitive civilizations in this sense is, like, for instance, the civilization that the Empire comes across is like back in the Stone Age, back before the medieval times and before the turn of Christ within our world, okay? So that's kind of what I want to try and avoid there. Next up is the crisis. I want to avoid crises, but this is something I kind of want to lean towards. I want to lean towards being the crisis, a crisis in this case, because of the fact that I'm role-playing this as this race in particular is meant to be a war machine, meaning that we will essentially want to wage war on the other species. Now, granted, we don't want to wage war in the early game, so if we go ahead and take notice to the population and the war effort of the smaller empires, the empires that have a little bit less technology effort in comparison to us, then yes, we would want to make sure that we are well established on that front. Next up is the start years. So mid-game start year, I have it being 2400. If you're familiar with the game, then you will know that you start in, I believe it's roughly 2100 AD, or AD. So that is something to keep in mind. The end game year starts at 2650, so about 250 years later. I kind of think this is something I'm going to have to tweak in the long game, but I think that should be good for now. However, the victory year isn't until the year 3000, so that's something to keep in mind as well. The difficulty I am playing on is called Commodore, which Commodore, in case you are unaware, is considered the normal difficulty. So you have Cadets, which is bonuses to their economy, research, and naval capacity. Ensign, the AI has no inherent economic, scientific, or military advantage over the player. Captain, the AI gets slight bonuses to its economy, research, and naval capacity. And Commodore, the AI gets moderate bonuses to its economy, research, and naval capacity. So we will be at a slight disadvantage, but not as an incredible one. I have played on Admiral before in my playtests, and I have also played on Grand Admiral. I am not going to be trying those inside of this playthrough because I want it to be a little bit more self-sustaining, as it were. Scaling difficulty is off. AI aggressiveness is normal. So there are going to be some AIs that will be aggressive towards us, whereas others will not. Empire placement is going to be random. I don't want it set for clusters because, frankly, I think that would be limiting the game a bit too much. Advanced neighbors is off. Hyperlane density is 1. Abandoned gateways, wormhole pairs is 1 as well. And then guaranteed habitable world is 2. So within the first cluster, we are going to at least have a guarantee of 2 habitable worlds. Caravans are going to be on. Xenocompatibility is going to be on as well. If you don't know what xenocompatibility is the Ascension perk as an option for empires to pick. So that's essentially what it is. Logistics growth ceiling is 1.25. So that is going to make logistics a little bit better on our part. Growth required scaling is going to be at 0.4. So this is going to lower the performance of the game a little bit, but not by an incredible amount. Increasing this, though, the slower the populations will grow. So I think that we'll go ahead and leave that the same. I'm going to turn Iron Man mode off because I was just showing that as an example earlier. So as I said, there is not going to be achievements enabled for this. So, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Okay, so we are now inside of our ring world. The Cyndrian awareness. If we ever knew how our people arrived on Synthon, our histories have long forgotten it. What we do know is that just over 2,000 years ago, some inconceivable cataclysm destroyed much of the ring and killed most of the population, and that our people eventually rose from those ruins. Our civilization has grown, flourished, and now it stands ready to explore the galaxy. Whether again or for the first time, but despite all our progress, we still have a long way to go before we can understand and repair the ring world, which is our home. So that is 100% true. We would need to unlock megastructures before we can even touch the surface on upgrading our ring world home world. That is something to keep in mind as well. So, first off, I want to go ahead and get research going. Research is going to be something critical, as you are more than well aware. I think, first off, I want to focus on research speed, or research from calculators is plus 20%. I want to get that increased. For society, I want to go and increase naval capacity or society research. Or even unity. Ooh. No, I think we can hold off on Unity. I'll wait for that in a little later point in time. But I think we'll go with the biodiversity studies. And then you. Ooh. I think going forward and getting the carrier operations might be a good call. But let's focus on the the research from calculators plus 20% first. I think that will be useful. So you can see that there is a drastic difference. So calculators is what they're called for our people. Calculators will go ahead and get an increase for how fast they can go in research. For instance, our physics and society departments for research increase at plus 7%. So we are getting a good bonus there, not incredible much. But our calculator that is in charge of engineering, that's an incredible bonus. 32%. I like that a lot. Now, apparently our calculator who is doing the research is plus 10 for research speed. I actually like that. Apparently plus 5 with research speed for you and plus 5 for you. So that's how we're increasing you two. So there is that. Now, we do have a science chip. I want you to take a look at our... Ooh. We're on one of the innermost... Ooh. Okay, I'm going to actually turn off sectors real quick because we don't need that that map on. Now, we do also have 2 habitable worlds, like not even like 1 jump away. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I think we'll have this research vessel go here, survey that, and quickly I'm going to go ahead and get our shipyard producing another science ship. Just so that way we can go ahead and survey the system a little bit faster. Next up, I want to go ahead and see what our construction ship can do. I don't think there's any task that we can do here inside of our home system. So I'm going to have you follow the science ship into that unsurveyed system. With that said, I think that our fleet ship here, that is something to keep in mind as well. Apparently you're a 2-star fleet, which is kind of weird, to be honest with you. Normally they start as a 1-star fleet. I don't know why it's a 2-star fleet. Either way. Oh, because... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Our piracy suppression. That's, I think, what's mostly causing it. I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's what mostly causing it. Anyway, I will leave the fleets alone for the time being. I'm going to keep our fleet inside of our home system. And then here at our station... we do have 6 defense platforms that we can go ahead and utilize. Inside of the station itself, let's see, dock ship upkeep is minus 25%. We do also want to go ahead and work on getting a Starhold upgrade research. That is going to take us some time. I think I need to go ahead and research, what was it? a cruiser first before we can go and research starholds. I think that's when we do it. Oh, and then unlock it though. So we'll go ahead and leave that be, and we'll let the game run for the moment. Now, I do want to also go and edit our outliner here, and I want to go and get planets put on here. On our home planet, we do have a couple things that we can do. We have a couple blockers that we can already work on removing, so we will work on that. Something we do need to work on is getting some more jobs going in. So I think what we should focus on, because of the fact that we have a very low alloy income, I think we should focus on an industrial district. We are going to need to get some more minerals going first. So I think I'm going to wait for that for the time being. And then I think we should be good. But our energy credits we can go ahead and utilize to, let's see, 120 seems to be the cheapest one. So I'll go ahead and get this one, Sprawling Slums, to go ahead and remove that. And then we'll go ahead and work on the industrial district once when we get some more materials. And I think that will be pretty good on our part. Now, that is going to only give us about 2 jobs. It's not going to give us a lot. It is also going to give us some housing, which is quite nice, actually. So that is something to keep in mind as well. How is our research ship doing? I got one more order before it has fully researched this this system. How is it looking so far? Looks like it's only 4 planets. 4 planets isn't bad. Ooh, the Grunur. Ooh, okay, I know about that. That's a research project that we can look into. Archeological site discovered. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Also, we got our second research ship. Pause the game real quick. I want to go and assign and recruit a new leader. Let's see. Research speed plus 10%. Leadership costs minus 50 and minus 50 for upkeep. Okay. Research speed materials. This leader is following years of study. Oh, materials. Consider an expert within the field of materials. Okay. I think that should be fine. I kind of want to go in and just do this one. Research speed plus 10%. Spark of Genius. We do also need to get some more unity before we can go in and get another leader. We can't go ahead and have you leave that system, though. So that's fine. That research vessel is currently being worked on right now, so that's fine. And of course, Synthon is also complaining that it doesn't have any sort of things that it can do. So we do have some unemployed citizens. Let's go ahead and get... Oh, that's right. So material cost is going to be a little bit higher inside of this. Oh, I forgot about that. Inside of my playtest, I think I was actually playing on a little bit of a different story. I think that I ended up researching far enough into the game where the cost for building a district was about like 20% less. So I think that was really interesting on our part. So we are going to be able to stop that, but we are going to need to wait a little bit as well. So let's go and run the game a little bit before we go and continue. Okay. Contact reports. Remnants. Okay. We have confirmed the first material traces of intelligent alien life on a foreign world. Remarkable. Okay. So that does mean our situation log is updated. We only got the research site. Okay, so first contact protocols. Because of the fact that we are a machine-based intelligence, I kind of want to lean towards we are to be cautious, but I think that we need to ward off those who would threaten us. I think that's what we should go and do. So that is going to make... If we use the ones that to threaten us, that means that our first contact protocol is going to be set to aggressive. This policy has the following effect: can attack neutral entities, enable hostile first contact options such as abductions and dissection. That would be interesting. If we do the cautious one, then it will mean we cannot attack neutral entities. Other nations will find it harder to establish communications with us, and negative first contact events are less likely to happen to us. I think cautious might be a better way to go, just because negative first contact events, because I know that there most likely will be some machine empires. It's typical that every single save that I have done for this species is that there has always been at least one empire that is based on machines that is different from our own. So that is something to keep in mind as well. I think we'll go with cautious for now.
System survey complete.
Perfect. System survey is done. You just got done doing that. Pause the game real quick. I can't have you excavate that site, but I will have you build a mine when you get more allies. Let's go and have you, let's see, survey that system. And then we'll be good to go. Now we'll be able to go ahead and get some energy credits increased for our production here. There is a lot that we can work on. Okay, so now we can go in and get our industrial district, which we are going to need to have. And then let's see. We can't get a new leader just yet. But you, I believe you are just about ready to create a base. You need 74 though. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and increase speed to fastest, and then we'll work from there. You have a few different orders, a few different planets to survey inside of that system, so that's good. You're gonna be busy. I can tell for a fact. Now we do have habitable world here, 19 expansion slots. Okay. Let's see. Impassable mountains, dangerous wildlife. Okay. Quicksand, and I believe that's it. Okay. Not bad. Looks like you're going to be finishing up on industrial. Okay, I think that is enough. Yes, so 135 is what we needed. Ah, okay, so you can get some more physics research inside of that system. I'm going to have you go survey that system now.
Construction complete.
Perfect. Our construction ship has completed our first starbase, so we'll go ahead and complete that. And then I want you to work on the mining station there. And I believe I have enough to go ahead and get another leader. Oh, that means you guys have also shifted out. Okay. And I do have enough, so that is good to keep in mind. Research speed biology. Research speed voidcraft. This leader, following years of study, considers an expert within the field of voidcraft. I'm not too sure what voidcraft means, but I'll keep that in mind. Survey speed is plus 25%. I think we'll go with you, because right now we're just focusing on survey. So we'll go ahead and have you be the leader of that vessel. And I want you to focus on surveying that system. Let's see. You're currently surveying that system. You're currently building that. Let's go ahead and see here. You don't have any available populations just yet, so, or not populations, but available jobs. I think what we need to do is get another industrial district. So there's that. And then I also want to get another mining district. That is going to get us a little bit more job inside of our capital. At our shipyard, I think I want to go ahead and focus next on getting a colony ship. Yeah, so we'll need to go and wait for some more allies, so that way we can go ahead and expand our population to this world. Granted, it's one system away, but I think that's still worth it to go ahead and expand our population. So this will be interesting to see what we can do. Go ahead and play the game. And it looks like you have discovered another habitable world there. There's a lot of planets inside of that system. Jeez.
Anomalous surface variable.
Ooh,
detected.
anomaly. Nice. I mean, there's a lot of planets inside of this system. Let me go and take a look.
Construction complete.
Okay, so there's a couple moons surrounding some larger planets, so that's good. Looks like this guy has also gained some more Leadership experience plus 25%. That's good. Okay. Anomaly detected there. Looks like there are a couple different mining bases that we can go and set up here.
Surface variable detected.
Leave B for now. Another anomaly right there. Challenging. Okay. That's good to keep in mind. Looks like you have discovered clear blocker capacity.
Technological acquisition successful.
Oh my. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on right now. Research has also been finished up there. Leader has gained a new level. You're currently commanding what? Oh, you're the new governor. Okay, perfect. You're our governor that's currently in charge of the Synthon sector. So that's good. You are currently researching that anomaly. And research. Good. Perfect. Okay, so you are doing that. Let's see. Nebula refineries might be interesting to get. I think Corvette build speed is what we should focus on.
System survey.
Or infrastructure path. Ooh. Let's go with the infrastructure path. I think that will be useful. So I think you're done there. So let's go ahead and pause that. Both of our science ships are currently passive right now because there's nothing going on. I want you to go there. And then I want you to come here. Build a star station there. And then I want you to go ahead and research the anomalies in that system. Actually, I think I should have you stay there. Or actually stay on your path to go research that system. So that's fine. And then our shipyard, seeing as how we have the... Oh, we actually don't. So we gotta wait a little bit before we can do that. That's fine. We'll just have to wait about one more turn. There we go. I'm gonna go and get a colony ship made here, and then we'll go ahead and send them over to Spoo'a. Spoo'a. I don't know how else you can pronounce that.
Complete.
Then let's go and have you build that research station there. Looks like you're just a regular frontier outpost. Okay. Okay, so we get our first tradition. This is going to be something that's going to be critical for us. Let's go ahead and adopt a tradition field. Where should we go and use? I think I want to go with the unyielding. Yeah, I think I want to go with unyielding just because I think that might be a little bit better for us. Or maybe prosperity. Prosperity might be better as well. Ooh, I think, yeah, prosperity might actually just be better for us. It will be better for the long game, to be honest with you. Discovery might be better as well. Research alternatives, so that would be useful. Survey speed will be useful as well. I don't want to necessarily worry about diplomacy at the time present, so we'll leave that a little bit for now. Subterfuge might be something to look into, but I don't want to have that be the first tradition that we take. Supremacy might be another one. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, first of all, we should focus on expansion. Expanding the empire and growing outward from our actual, capital. So expansion tradition might be what we go for. That will allow us to go and have a higher influence from our star bases, and that will go and allow us to have our empire size be increased from our systems and colonies, and also our bases will be reduced for their upkeep by 20%. That will be really useful. In addition, new colonies will have an additional population when we get that, and then we'll also have a higher population assembly speed by 10%. That I think we should go and focus on. Colony development speed, though, will be an additional 25%. I like that. We also will go ahead and get granted an additional district. Ooh. So when we finish up this tradition, adopting all expansion traditions will grant the following additional effects. Max districts, non-artificial planets only. So this will be for regular inhabited planets. Is that we get an additional district. So that's good for anything, pretty much. And then ascension perks unlocked is 1. So that's good. I think we'll go and adopt the expansion tradition. Once when we get our next one, which will be in 15 months, we'll be able to unlock one of the others, which I think what we'll do first and foremost is start with the automated colonization units. That might be better. Might be. We'll have to look and see what that can do. You're completing the research base there. You're researching those anomalies. And then you are researching this system. There's not that many planets here. Okay, that's good. Also, there's another planet right here. That is really good to keep in mind as well. So I do think that I have a couple ideas of where I want our new star bases to be at. Because I can already see that this is a cluster right here. Like this right here is a cluster. I think that we can have a starbase positioned right here and have that be able to maintain this sector. And then maybe we'll have another one be like right here and another one right here. That might be pretty useful. Granted, those are 2 jumps away. Same for this one right here, 2 jumps away from the actual capital, which I think I want to use as a rule of thumb. 2 jumps away from the previous station. That's what I want to use. Also, I do think that at one point or another, we will have to upgrade the star bases that are in the habitable systems to be upgraded to at least a star. What would that be considered? A star. It's called a starport. So I would want to upgrade those to be a starport at some point in time and equip them to be with a transit system. So that way population can transport between different habitable worlds. So like for instance, if there's overcrowding in the Spoo'a system, they can go ahead and be transported to the Stellaris system. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, so don't judge. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. There is also some buildable space here that we can utilize. Jobs are still open, so we'll leave that be for now. You are done with construction there. Pause the game real quick. I want you to focus on building a starbase in that system. You're still finishing up orders there, and you are still finishing up on anomalies in that sector. Swirling shadows. Immense raging planets, planes of shadows drift across Abjus 6's face. So in this system, they are cast not by clouds, but by sheets of organic material drifting through the upper layers of the atmosphere, hinged or rather jointed to another for a smaller degree of articulation. Science officer calculator Horota is as yet unwilling to say whether these things are flora or fauna, or what possible purpose, if any, their elaborative shadow casting might serve. Interesting. So that would be something they'll have to go ahead and research further. Okay, so you're going to be constructing there. I think something we can also focus on is getting a construction ship research. And we do got our colony ship done as well. So I'm going to go ahead and decrease our speed real quick. And also we got research real quick. I got to go ahead and do you guys. Let's see. I think energy grid might be something to look into. Meaning you. I don't really want to focus on getting a hydroponics bay or focusing on agriculture. So I think ground defense planning might be what we go for.
System survey complete.
Ah, good. You're done with your surveying there. I want you to come back here and research the anomalies in that system. You're going to be finishing up the starbase there momentarily. And then I want you to focus on building the mining stations in that system. So that's good to keep in mind. I want you to come here. And I want you to colonize this planet. We're just going to call it Spoo'a Prime, because that's kind of like what it goes by. Or we can go and randomize the name. Scalene. Minima. I kind of want to get one that's similar. FTL impact. Ooh, okay. That's something to keep in mind. Solution. I'll keep that name. That actually sounds like a name that it would be like. So yeah, we'll go ahead and rename that planet to Solution. I kind of like the idea of having the random names. In my playtesting, I didn't bother with the random names. I just called it like the name of the system plus prime. I kind of don't think that would be something we should focus on now. So that's something to keep in mind. We got our new construction ship now, so I think we'll have you come here and build an outpost. Remarkable. So we got FLTs there. Synthon. Okay, so you guys do have some population going on. Let's see. I want you guys to focus on ally foundations. I don't know. I kind of want to increase material production first. Material production might be useful. Or maybe getting another research lab. That might be useful as well. Maybe an uplink node. Energy credits into units. We don't got a lot of energy credits. That is going to be something we'll have to keep in mind. The more energy credits that we have, the better off we'll be in the future. Maybe get a resource silo. Because that is going to help us with our resources. Yeah. Let's go and get a resource silo built. So there's that. You're currently colonizing that planet. You're moving to go and colonize there, that is. You're currently investigating that anomaly, and you are currently building 2 mining stations. You're currently building the Starbase, which is good, and you have no orders. Let's have you come to this system real quick, which does not currently have a name, so we'll find out the name here shortly. And then we'll be good to go. Okay, so I think at that point we are at a safe enough point to pause there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call this an episode today, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys did like this episode and you want to see more of this, definitely going to hit that like button. I am going to be pre-recording the next couple of episodes, so keep that in mind if you want to go and watch the next ones and you have a couple ideas that you want to put out there. So keep that in mind. I do have plans to release these videos like 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So if you guys have an idea of like anything you want to happen within this series, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do to make it happen for you guys. Anyway, check you guys in the next one, and let's see where the Cyndrian awareness takes us. Check you guys later. Bye-bye.